Hi, my name is Tracy Happel. I was a teacher in the Oconee School District in South Carolina. When I was informed as a special education teacher that my students were going to take the state standardized assessment along with their peers, I began to feel uncomfortable with that. I started thinking about it and knowing what I knew about my students and how they felt about themselves, especially. I knew that that assessment would be very difficult and challenging for them. And their self-esteem, their confidence was already pretty low based on how they compared themselves to their peers. After thinking about it and after hearing their thoughts about themselves and watching them in class and seeing them struggle, I decided to have a conversation with my administrator about the assessment, but that didn't go over so good. I wasn't heard, I wasn't listened to. So I decided to write a letter after some consulting with parents involved in education and some more thinking. I decided I was going to write a letter of objection to my administrators and let them know that my students weren't going to do so well on this test, and because their numbers weren't going to be so great, why should we further destroy their self-esteem and their confidence? I wrote my letter of objection, and it was quite lengthy. It was about 3 pages, and I emailed it to my administrators, I emailed it to the superintendent, and I emailed it to the president of the school board. A couple hours later, I had 2 administrators in my classroom, and they were telling me that I was needed downtown in the administrative offices and that I should gather my things. I knew that wasn't a good thing for me. But I knew it was a good thing for my students because I knew I had been heard. I told my students that I probably wouldn't be back, that they should do the best they could, and I went and talked with administrators down at the district office. I was placed on paid administrative leave at that time, and they were going to investigate my letter. To this date, to the date of filming this, I have not heard anything back from my district. I didn't go back to my classroom, although I had previously resigned, so that was in effect. But I don't know what's going on. I do know my students took their assessment. I ran into a couple of them. I've talked to some of their parents. I know they took their assessment, and I know it was hard for them. But I believe I did the right thing. My students are more than a test. They are so much more than a test. They're caregivers, they're car remodelers, they're artists, they are animal lovers, they are hunters, they are passionate kids with a great future in front of them, and a test isn't going to define them, and I didn't want a test to define them.